TRT World's Research Centre Manager, Tarek Cherkaoui, is here. Tarek, thank you for coming in. I like that use of the word responsible actors. We'll come on to that in a minute. First of all, tell us what Turkey's interests are in Libya.
I think this is an important development, the signing of this important agreement. I think it comes as a long journey of cooperation, bilateral cooperation. We have to know that Turkey has been involved in the peace process in Libya from the early stage. President Erdogan actually was one of the first to visit Libya after the ousting of Gaddafi. So there's nothing really new. It's an ongoing process. Turkey has been also part of the very important Skhirat agreement that was signed in 2015. So there is a support for international legitimacy. There is a support for the UN supported government in Libya. Unfortunately, that government is under siege. We have seen that the enemy of that presidential council is General Haftar. He's trying to topple and seize the capital by force. This is why a lot of responsible actors, let's say, are intervening and stepping up their support to the legitimate government in Tripoli.
Okay, when Fahrettin Altun uses that phrase, responsible actors, it immediately begs the question, who are the irresponsible actors? It seems as if Libya is in the middle of a proxy war. East is fighting West. There are severe dangers. I don't know, many people say the country could eventually break up into two. But there is a conflict going on which involves many countries around the world, not least European countries and Middle Eastern countries. Who are the irresponsible actors here?
Well, I think Haftar is primarily supported by the UAE, Saudi Arabia, France, Egypt, and others. He has no shortage in terms of weapon supply. He has no shortage in terms of finding funds for his troops. We have seen recent reports that he's also bringing Russian mercenaries to the fore, and that because he's overstretched, his forces cannot anymore do the job. He has very limited manpower to man this army of his and his ambition of his. So therefore, he's relying now on mercenaries and he's relying on external forces. The UAE has been deploying its aviation there. It has also drones. It has been bombing civilians. It has been bombing migrant hosting facilities. It is creating havoc in the country, and I think from this perspective, Turkey is a force for good. It's a force that tries to help the international legitimacy, the UN-supported government in Tripoli.
Tarek, how is it possible that, given what you've just said, and the fact that the aims of this new agreement between Turkey and Libya, as Fahrettin Altun says, to provide regional stability, to stop Libya being used as a haven for terrorists, how is it possible that France and the UAE can be opposing the legitimately recognized government that the UN backs?
Well, there is also this duplicity of, unfortunately, international politics. France is giving the lip service to UN agreement, and if you go to the websites of the Foreign Affairs, the French Foreign Affairs Ministry, you will find that we support the legitimate government, and they are there whenever there are any festivities or ceremonies. But the reality is, we have seen also other reports, and the very credible reports, and actually also findings in terms of weaponry and very sophisticated weapon systems that were actually supplied by France to Haftar. So yes, there is this duplicity. There's a lot of lip service going on in favor of the UN efforts, but the reality is unfortunately, these destabilizing forces are doing a spoiling game in Libya. They're trying to destabilize the legitimate government. On the other hand, there are some forces also who are trying to support the legitimate government, and I think this accord is very important, and the signing of this accord by President Erdogan and the head of the Presidential Council, Faiz al-Sarraj, is a very important landmark, because it provides the legitimate government with a lot of education training and other possibilities to enhance the ties between the militaries of both sides.
Okay, Tarek, as always, really appreciate it. Thank you so much indeed. Tarek Cherkaoui.